Sports Blitz Live is on the air with full coverage of the Auburn Tigers,
Touchdown Auburn!
the Alabama Crimson Tide,
Off to the inside, intercepted Alabama. Touchdown run.
and everything college and high school sports. Now, let's join Andy, Brett, Randy, and Luke for this edition of Sports Blitz Live.
Hello again, everyone, and good Tuesday evening. Welcome into this, the latest edition of Sports Blitz Live. I am Andy Graham alongside Luke Robinson. We'll be with you for the next couple of hours, taking your comments, taking your phone calls, talking about everything going on in the world of sports. And there is quite a bit going on right now. The Olympics going on. We'll talk about that, at least.
Talking about one aspect.
Talking about parts of it. Anyway, we'll continue our SEC preview tonight, taking a look at the Georgia Bulldogs and the South Carolina Gamecocks. And do not say a word. We will be making some predictions as well. It's the first week of our second week of practice. For Auburn and Alabama, maybe we'll find out from Luke what's going on with Alabama, what's the early buzz. Auburn as well. Auburn continues to be maybe the hottest team in the country as far as recruiting is concerned. A lot of talk about that. Luke was involved in a controversial interview this past
Let me say this
past week.
For those who don't know, I did a crossover episode with Zach Blackerby of Locked On Auburn, who fantastic host, technically my boss in Locked On and super guy, right? And the whole thing of the argument, the whole crux of the argument was, for me, in-state recruiting, winning that battle isn't as big of a deal anymore. And my reasoning is this. 30 years ago, if Alabama loses every in-state prospect to Auburn or vice versa, you know as a fan, okay, we're in trouble. We're in trouble because Alabama and Auburn's net wasn't quite as wide. Yeah, they may occasionally get somebody from California or occasionally get somebody from New York. Derek Lassick was from New York. But for the most part, the bread's always buttered in the state and the neighboring states. It's just different now. I mean, and not only that, it doesn't matter anyway, because if they don't get to play, it doesn't matter where they're from. They're going to transfer immediately or if they get a bigger offer. It just doesn't matter as much anymore. It did matter a ton. It doesn't matter as much anymore. And there were some Auburn people who just lost their minds, and there were some, I was so thankful. Justin Clayton, our good friend, he turned me on and he said he watched some Auburn show, and I watched it later. He said they actually were taking your side, that, yeah, he's kind of right. And I like being considered right. I don't get that very much. So, but I think times are just different. And here's the other thing. 30 years ago specifically, if you're losing all the in-state players, Alabama or Auburn or vice versa, whatever, you probably don't have the number 2 class in the country. Alabama's got the number 2 class in the country and has lost practically any battle they've gone in-state for. So it's really hard for me to complain. That was the whole point of this.
Of course. Well, I got some thoughts on that. We'll talk about that. The top 25 coaches poll is out. Interesting. We might take it, not that it really means anything, but it's a preseason poll. It gives us something to talk about. So we'll talk about these things much more. Love to hear from you. 256-234-6221 is our number. Give us a call. Let us know what's on your mind. You can always find us here. I think we're on the radio. I'm not even 100% sure anymore.
I don't ever get to listen to us.
I think we are. We're also on YouTube and our Facebook page. That's Sports Blitz with a Z.
Let's get this out of the way.
Okay.
Let's get the pole vaulting thing out of the way.
Okay, go ahead.
Y'all had to see it, right? I mean, I'm sorry.
A lot of people have been talking about it.
The French pole vaulter.
It's a big deal.
Trying to go over the, I don't know if that's the, is it your pole and your vaulting? I don't know why.
The bar is what we'll call it.
He's trying to go over the bar.
Trying to clear the bar.
And his manhood.
Most all of him clears the bar.
Except the part of him that makes him a him. And it hits it so hard that it knocks the bar off the other bars. And the question that you said Clay Travis posed, which is brilliant. Would you rather win gold or have everybody know that you're packing? I don't know what else to say.
A packing of 44.
Yeah.
A Clint Eastwood, Dirty Harry.
Like, ain't
44.
messing around. What was the thing? What was the movie with Joe Piscopo and Johnny Dangerously? Did you ever see that one? He had the
Michael
gun, Johnny.
Keaton.
The other, Michael
Yeah.
Keaton, all that. So
Hilarious movie, by the way.
it is a hilarious movie.
Johnny
And this was hilarious. And he said, which one would you rather have? And 65% of the people said they'd rather have the second thing, which I get. Because, look, he didn't win.
All guys voting in this poll, by the way, of course.
Right. He didn't win the gold, but he's going to get a lot of blondes. You know? I mean, it seems like the best, because he could have lost. We said this for there.
Just
he could have
Google.
lost by just the pole snapping and he falls on his back and nobody knows anything. And he could have just been a loser. You know,
the pole could have broken. He could have just been awful and not even, I mean, you know, he could have been humiliated or what. I mean, there's only, I mean, this is so unique. It's such a unique circumstance because, number one, it's relative to the age that we live in, because it is on video, because you know this video goes viral in about 10 seconds. And look, I mean, you know, a normal man, it probably would not have mattered. Let's just say that.
He clears it.
He clears it pretty easy. But that dude ain't normal.
He needed to do some taping or do something, tucking.
I would. Can we get the man a jock strap of some sort?
I don't think it could contain it. It didn't look like it. That thing looked like it was coming out to see what was going on.
Yeah.
Like, what's everybody clapping about? And at first, you know, you think this is what an embarrassing moment. At first, you're like, oh, my God. But you know what it reminded me of? What's the Tin Cup? Remember when Kevin Costner, he's like trying to beat, was it Shooter McGavin or whatever, trying to win?
That's
the other one.
That's Happy Gilmore.
That's Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
That's right. Whoever it is.
He's trying to win
beat
the
him.
U.S. Open.
He's trying to win the U.S. Open, and he has a shot. All he has to do is lay up, and then, you know, he's golden. But he wanted to go for it.
And he did it all 4 days.
And he went for it, and he goes in the water. He goes in the water like 4 times, but then he does it again. On the 5th time, it goes in the hole. And Renee Russo, who's his girlfriend in the movie, he's like, I screwed it up. I blew the U.S. Open. She goes, nobody's going to remember the U.S. Open. Everybody's going to remember your 12. Nobody's going to remember these Olympics. Everybody's going to remember that pole vaulter.
Yeah.
That's the way it is.
Well, you could have gone another way with that, but I
know. Well, I
thought you were.
This show doesn't start at 9 o'clock. It starts at 7 o'clock.
Yeah. So again, congratulations to him on missing on missing gold, silver, and bronze. But hey, you know, it is what it is.
You know, in The Simpsons,
at least it's something funny we can laugh about in this chaotic world that we live in.
The Arnold Schwarzenegger equivalent in The Simpsons is a guy named Rainier Wolfcastle. Mm-hmm. And Rainier Wolfcastle one time was talking about one of his new movies, and the movie critic was like, that just sounds awful. How do you even sleep at night? And he says, on top of a pile of money with many beautiful ladies. That's how that pole vaulter is going to spend the rest of his life.
Maybe so.
On top of a pile of money with many beautiful ladies.
Yeah.
Because he lost. It's amazing.
Yeah.
You almost want to go, you know, it's the American dream, but it's in Paris. I think it still counts.
And he's French.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how that works, but nonetheless, don't even know his name. But I don't know if I can forget him.
Nobody cares what his name is. There's not one woman that's been like, hey, you, come see me.
That's true. So there you go. Comments? No, thanks. Okay. Back to the recruiting thing, and then we'll kind of wrap up this first segment. But I will say that I will disagree with you to this much and say I agree with you. It's not a big deal to Alabama. It's a very big deal to Auburn.
That's fair.
Auburn has got. I mean, I think they got 4 out of the top 10 last year. I think it was like 5 or 6 of the top 15 or something like that in the state of Alabama. They have right now 8 of the top 10 in the state of Alabama. If that trend continues on, like for the next 3 or 4 years, then I think it's going to be a big deal to both schools eventually. But as long as Alabama has got the number 1 or 2 class in the country and finishes that way, it's a long time till December for both Auburn and Alabama. But if they continue that way, I agree with you. It's not a big deal to them. And I wish Auburn people would. I really wish Auburn people would not worry so much about. Well, okay, Alabama's not giving us credit for doing something great. It is something great. I think it's wonderful. I think I pray that Auburn continues to dominate the state of Alabama. I don't care what Alabama thinks or doesn't think about it or gives us 1 ounce of credit about it.
I think you do make a good point. And if Alabama were ranked 20th in recruiting right now, yes, I'd be worried to death about it.
Sure.
But they're not. And in fact, we hadn't been rated that low in recruiting in so long, like on the, early in the season, we might have 1 commitment or something. But I hadn't had to worry about that since, the Saban era. So, and it looks like it's going to keep continuing on a national level moving forward. Now, things can change. And it's funny, Auburn's got, I think, 3 commitments from maybe 3 or 4 commitments from the state of Alabama for next year, not this upcoming signing class, the next one. And then Alabama got 2, what everybody believes will be top 100 commitments from guys in Alabama for the next class after that one. And I thought, okay, I kind of want to celebrate it. And there were some people going, see, we're not abandoning the state. And I was like, we hadn't even signed the dudes that are committed now. Nobody certainly signed the dudes that are committed for 2026, and you dang sure ain't going guaranteed to sign the dudes for 2027.
No.
So recruiting's a different animal. It changes every minute. It wasn't what I was saying. Wasn't trying to diminish anything Auburn's done, because I work for the AHSAA radio network too. So you think it's fun for me to see a bunch of guys that I know are pretty good? Now there's some dudes like Jared Smith at Thompson, great player. Alabama just didn't pursue. They didn't think it was a schematic fit, I don't think. I don't know if he even wanted to go to Alabama. I don't know. I just know there wasn't a lot of mutual interest either way, right? Derek Smith, I can tell you Alabama wanted him. They still want him. If they can flip him back, they will. Antonio Coleman, I know Alabama wanted him. I don't know if the commit would work the other way now. He's committed 4 different times now, so I don't know. And there's 1 or 2 others in there that I know Alabama, wanted, and they just didn't get them. And sometimes it happens. And but if they go and they get Keelan Russell from Texas, who some people think is number 1 quarterback in the country now, who am I to say, well, I wish he was from Alabama? If you go and get Caleb Cunningham, who's the 1st or 2nd best wide receiver in the country, I mean, who am I to say, hey, I wish he was from Alabama? A.K. Deere in Mississippi, he ultimately, I think, will commit to Alabama, the 2nd best running back in the country. I mean, it doesn't bother me he's not from Alabama. Or some of these other linebackers from California, or Dawson Merritt from Kansas. It just doesn't bother me, because even the one thing a lot of Auburn people have done is compare this class, or this Cam Coleman class, to at Nick Saban's 2008 class. And the one thing that I went back, it inspired me to go. Yeah. Because Cam Coleman, and then Julio and, all those, right?
But you're talking about last year's class, not this year.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's sort of a hybridish thing, right? Just talking about how, well, look at the similarities. Nick Saban lost La Monroe, we lost New Mexico State, blah, 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 right? So,
yeah, let's make that comparison.
Because that's not a good one, but let's go back to 2008, and I went and looked at that class. Alabama signed they did do really well in state, but a lot of those dudes did not pan out. B.J. Scott, Ivan Matchett, Jermaine Prayer, Tyler Love, all great people. They just didn't work on the collegiate level. Tyler Love and B.J. Scott were 5-stars, and it just didn't work at Alabama for whatever reason.
That's why I say don't get all in a bunch about 1 year.
Right.
If it's a pattern, and again, if Auburn gets 8 out of the top 10 guys for the next 4 or 5 years, it doesn't matter what Alabama does. They can have the number 1 class getting people from New Zealand for all I care. If Auburn gets 8 out of the top 10 guys in Alabama for a 4-year stretch, Auburn's going to be just fine.
They'll be fine.
They'll be a top 5 team.
Let me tell you something else that I said, that the reason this doesn't matter, because a lot of people say, well, I want kids from Alabama because they will fight hard for their university because of state pride. And I said, okay, that's great, And that's wonderful. If you think that they're going to play harder in the Iron Bowl, wonderful. Let me tell you this right now as an Alabama fan, and you can believe me or not believe, doesn't matter. If you tell me, hey, Luke, Alabama's going to go 10-2, and their loss is going to be their two arch rivals, Tennessee and Auburn. But I'll be like, yeah, I would take that because you know why? I'm going to the playoffs, and I get a shot. This expanded playoff system is going to lead to a diminishing effect of some of these rivalries. It might not be tremendous, but it's not going to mean as much. If Alabama can lose to Auburn and Tennessee, or if you tell an Auburn fan, hey, you're going to lose to Alabama and Georgia, but you're going to the playoffs, you would. If you don't take it, you're a fool.
It'll be more. It won't be winning. I think there'll be rare opportunities where it'll be winner goes to the playoffs, but there will be a lot of other times probably when it will be. Well, it will be if we beat you, you don't go. I think that's more likely to see than winner goes. But yeah, I agree with you. It will probably diminish it to some degree.
I mean, and again, I'm not saying it's the hatred's going to go away or any of that, but it's going to be more like an NFL thing. And I said that on the crossover podcast. I said everybody talks about, boy, when the Washington football team and the Dallas Cowboys or the Giants and the Cowboys get together, it's just crazy. No, that's not the same. It's not the same. No. And so if the Giants beat the Eagles both at home and away in their football season, but the Eagles win the Super Bowl, guess who cares that the Giants beat the Eagles twice? Nobody. Yeah. So, I mean, that's what it's come to. And again, so be it. That's what everybody wanted. So, I'm fine with it. I've just already learned, if you're telling me if I go 10-2 every year, Alabama will go to the playoffs every time they're 10-2. I 100% believe that. And I hope the same's true of Auburn. Yeah. So that's the goal. Get there to that. Just get to the playoffs. If you lose a couple of games, it's okay. But if you're in the SEC and you go 10-2, put your money down on probably getting in. There you go. All right, we got to take our first break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more right after this.
Sportz Auto Sales, Highway 280 in Kellyton, Alabama, is home-owned and home-operated. If you're looking for tires, they have it. If you're looking for a vehicle, they have them. Great selection. Always out looking for more just for you, the customer. And if you're looking for service, whether you buy the vehicle from them or whether you buy the vehicle somewhere else, they do service work and got a great crew there. Keep this in mind. Don't you go by Sportz Auto Sales on Highway 280 in Kellyton today.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our Best Rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill and Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
Red Flag Pest Control is Central Alabama's best in pest control with hometown service in Lake Martin and now the greater Montgomery area. When you see pests, throw down the red flag. Termites, bed bugs, carpenter bees, mosquitoes, or general pests. Red Flag gets the job done at the right price for your home or business. At Lake Martin, call 888-943-0353 or in Montgomery, 334-265-1831. Red Flag, the best in pest control in Central Alabama.
I'm Karen Chanel, your State Farm agent in Alexander City, Alabama, and the greater Lake Martin area. I want to talk to you a little bit today about your discounts. How many of you are entitled to discounts that you may or may not be receiving? One of the easiest discounts on your homeowner's insurance is that of having a fire extinguisher. Coupled with a deadbolt lock and a smoke alarm, that gives you an automatic discount on your homeowner's policy.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you, brought to you each and every Tuesday evening by JR's Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. I think we got a phone call. Let's go to it.
Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Okay.
Hey, caller.
Yeah, this.
Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, this PJ.
Hey, PJ, what's up, buddy?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, turn your TV down if you don't mind, buddy.
Okay, man. Okay. I was going to ask a question about Coach Hugh Freeze. If he have another bad season, you know, what's a success for y'all if he goes 9 wins or 8 wins? Is that success this year?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt. 9 wins for sure. I think 8 wins is about where he should be.
Okay, so if he don't,
I have a hard time seeing Auburn only get to 7 wins. The schedule's eased up a little bit. Yeah, I think they'll get to 8 wins. Are you still with me, bud?
Yeah, I'm still with you. Do you think then we go after Lane Kiffin again if he's still at Ole Miss?
Well, I think Hugh Freeze is going to be at Auburn for at least 3 more years, regardless of what he does this year, unless it's just 2-10, which is I don't think is going to happen. So I don't see a pursuit of Lane Kiffin in any time in the near future.
All right, BJ, thank you, buddy.
Thank you, man.
See you.
All right, appreciate it. Yeah, just a note out there, if you call in, love for you to call in, 256-234-6221. Just go ahead and turn down your TV and just talk to us on the phone. Yeah, there's a delay on the TV, so it's difficult to have a conversation. Apparently, PJ maybe works as a grinder. A grinder?
I think that is just
some sort of metal worker?
I think that is the static feedback, but I do like where you're going with that.
Okay. Yeah, that was kind of, or maybe I've got tinnitus. I don't know.
You might have tinnitus. But yeah, I don't, look, I think 7 wins, I think Auburn fans will certainly accept it and be like, okay. I think 8 wins is where Auburn needs to be.
Yeah.
9 wins is definite success. Anything 9 or over is definite success. Anything 7 or under, I think people are going to be like, okay.
Auburn fans will be able to reevaluate to some degree, I think, in week 2. I don't think that's going to be a, easy game, like everybody just assuming that's a win. It should be assumed to be a win, but I don't think you can guarantee anything with this Auburn team until you watch them play. Now, you're not going to learn anything in week 1 against Alabama A&M, but California coming in, they're not a terrible team. They're actually a decent team. I think they're picked middle of the pack in the ACC. And then Arkansas comes in, so that's again not going to be an easy win.
Team in there somewhere? It doesn't go A&M, Cal, Arkansas, does it?
I think there may be New Mexico or maybe New Mexico in there, not the state. New Mexico in there maybe.
Okay.
Seems like there is. Then Arkansas is I think week 4, and then Oklahoma's obviously
Oklahoma's
the
week 5. Yeah.
If you win, if you can start 5-0 for your Auburn, I think almost 8 wins is guaranteed. But If you don't, then you're going to have to struggle probably to get there. And 9 wins is no longer a realistic possibility in the regular season, I don't think.
The swing games are going to be Kentucky and Oklahoma to me. And if I picture Auburn splitting those games and then dropping Georgia, Bama, Missouri. 3 very tough road games, 3 teams that are – Missouri starts out, number 7, number 8? I don't even know where – Ole Miss was 6.
Missouri opens the season
maybe it was 11. I don't know. Somewhere in there.
11, yeah.
But 3 difficult road games, okay? And so, I think if they go 8-4 and they've beaten an Oklahoma or beaten a Kentucky on the road, and I think Auburn fans will be happy with that.
Sure. I don't know if PJ is an Auburn or an Alabama fan, but I think the flirtation with Lane Kiffin is over.
Yeah.
At Auburn. I just, it would have to be disastrous for even to entertain anything. Because he frees the way things are going in recruiting right now, he has bought himself some goodwill from, I think, everybody involved. And, they could stomach a 7-5 season this year. It wouldn't taste very good, but they could stomach it. 8-4 is realistic. That is probably expected. 9-3 is possible. And then if anything over that, obviously, it's a tremendous season. You're ahead of schedule. So we'll see what happens with that, though. Okay, we made some picks for the SEC. JJ and I did earlier this week. Brett and Randy are kind of formulating theirs as we speak, but I figured I'd give you a chance to at least throw down some framework of it. Again, we got a couple of guests coming up later on in the program, one from Georgia and one from South Carolina. So we'll get to that imminently. But where do you want to start, Luke?
I think we can start at the bottom. I just want to – it doesn't matter. To me, you got Vandy, Arkansas, and Mississippi State, and you take them out of the equation. And the thing that stands out to me about those 3 teams, Texas gets all 3 of them. And if I'm Oklahoma, I'm like, hey, we're over here too.
Yeah.
So that automatically, in my opinion, gives Texas a good bump, right? Instead of having to play an LSU, a Bama. They do play Georgia, or even playing if they went to Jordan-Hare in week 5 instead of Oklahoma. Something like that. But they didn't even have to do that. I think that's a big break for Texas. Then, I think you can get into a whole bunch of teams after those 3. Kentucky, I would probably put towards, and South Carolina, I'd probably put South Carolina next. But South Carolina's got some dudes. And then Kentucky's got to be in there somewhere. And I think Auburn, Kentucky, South Carolina are all in there together, right? And then you get into, you got Georgia, you got Texas. I could probably put Oklahoma in there with Auburn, South Carolina, and Kentucky too, I think.
Texas A&M?
Yeah. Boy, I'm trying to, you start to remember all 16 teams off the top of your head. Yeah, and boy, I shouldn't have left off Florida. You're absolutely right. Texas A&M and Florida, you jumble those up, and if you ask me, I think Oklahoma would be the top of that pack. I think Texas A&M is going to be pretty good. Not great, but I think they'll be okay. I think Texas A&M is going to beat Notre Dame week 1.
Okay.
Notre Dame starting out in top 10. I think that's crazy. They lost. I think that they just lose their center for the year. They just lost somebody integral to that team for the year. But anyway, that's where I'd go. And then you get to, the Georgia, Texas, Ole Miss, Bama, LSU, Tennessee. Who am I missing? Anybody? Missouri?
Yeah.
Missouri. Okay, that's a bunch of teams right there. I could see a huge tie. Now, if you ask me who I'm putting 1, I'm probably going to homer out and say Alabama. I like coming back. I like Milroe coming back. I like the way the schedule is. It's tougher, but I think it's manageable. To me, the toughest game is obviously going to be Georgia. You do get them at home. You get them at home after a week off. They have a week off too, but I feel like that's a good thing. They won't have a lot of, this Alabama team is going to look different than the one they played in the SEC championship game. I don't know if that's good or bad just yet. Nobody
does.
Yeah. So then Alabama does have to go to Tennessee. They do have to go to LSU. They do have to go to Oklahoma. I certainly see them dropping at least one of those games. And then, if they can win the other games at home, Missouri's at home, Auburn's at home, Missouri's going to be tough. But Alabama avoids Ole Miss. One thing that Jimmy and I talked about on the podcast day was about the top 25 coming out. It made me feel better about the schedule. Not that thing is the Bible, right? Because we both were kind of like, hey, everybody's love affair with Ole Miss is sort of getting on my nerves. Because, are you putting them at 6 because you believe they're the 6th best team? Or are you putting them at 6th because you believe their schedule is pretty easy and it lends itself to that's where you think they'll finish? That would be the question I would have.
I got Ole Miss at 8th in the SEC.
See, I would lean more that than Ole Miss being in 1, 2, or 3. But Tennessee just lost the Defensive Player of the Year. Now we're going to have more teams lose players as the fall camp goes on. There's no doubt. There's some people higher on LSU than I am.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be
schedule.
The schedule is.
I think they get great. They got their big games at home.
It's not bad, but at the same time, I think this is the least talented team Brian Kelly's going to have. It's sort of in a sweet spot. You lose your Heisman winning quarterback. You lose 2 superstar wide receivers. LSU always seems to have good wide receivers. Nussmeier is probably going to be a pretty quarter, but he ain't Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels just announced as a starter for the Washington football team. So,
what'd they win with him?
Well, exactly. I mean, that's
so many times you see a special quarterback leave and a steady Eddie come in the next year, and they have a even better year.
But let's say this, that they didn't lose at Ole Miss or at Bama because of Jaden Daniels.
Oh, no.
If they don't have Jaden Daniels against Bama, they're not even in it.
Well, they also had a horrendous defense.
And they got a new coordinator, they do. But my first thing is, when you've been they hadn't been a great defense really in 2 years. Harold Perkins has regressed.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering how much better are they really going to be. And, I mean, this is a year that you don't want to have a sketchy defense in the SEC. You've got Carson Beck, you got Milroe, you got Brady at Missouri.
Yeah.
Obviously a lot of people in love with Nussmeier, but you got Quinn Ewers. You got Jackson Dart. You got some studs this year in the SEC at quarterback. A lot of guys that could – Brady Cook is what his name is. A lot of guys who are going to be vying for that number 1 spot on the All-SEC team. A lot of them are probably going to be right in the mix of the Heisman race too. So then you got Iamaliva. I'm not saying that right.
I think Peyton Thorne's going to surprise some people this year. I think he's going to have more akin to a 2021 season than he did last year. I don't know if he'll get there. The numbers, I don't know if they'll be quite that good, but I think they'll at least approach.
I think he'll improve too, just because he'll have better targets to throw to. But you can improve a lot and still you can be the 8th best quarterback in this league and be pretty doggone good next year.
Yeah.
It's just a weird year because the year after the next, Quinn Ewers will be gone, Beck will be gone. I think Brady Cook will be gone, Milroe will be gone. There'll be a lot of dudes that are exiting. So Peyton Thorne will probably be gone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. He seems like the guy. He may get a COVID year. We'll see.
He may want to try out pole vaulting.
Hey, if he can.
If he could, he would.
If he could, he would. Never mind.
I thought you were about to take a break. So
I think we do need to have a break after that. All right, we'll go ahead and there's Luke's top 16 in the SEC.
Oh, I didn't tell you. I said Bama, Texas for the SEC championship is what I
Okay.
And I attribute a lot of that.
Georgia third.
And my reasoning
Ole Miss
is
fourth?
LSU. Missouri fourth.
Missouri fourth, okay.
And then probably Ole Miss, LSU. Okay, or Ole Miss, Tennessee, LSU.
Okay.
And, again, I love Missouri's schedule. I mean, we talked to what's the play-by-play guy's name?
Howard Richards.
Howard Richards last week, and he was sort of cocky, wasn't he? I mean, I said I see Missouri going 11-1 with this schedule, and I didn't mean it in a you're definitely losing to Tuscaloosa. I meant it in a I don't think I've ever seen Missouri go undefeated, so I got to say 11-1.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Well, who's the one?"
Yeah.
Hey, good, more power to him.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to go ahead and take a break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Sports Blitz Live right after this.
Alex City Internal Medicine and Nephrology and Weight Loss Center provides optimum care for the whole person. Dr. Dimo Popov specializes in the prevention and diagnosis of high blood pressure, kidney disease, diabetes, and acute and chronic conditions. Our weight loss clinic offers lipo shots and a guide to healthy weight loss. Alex City Internal Medicine and Nephrology and Weight Loss Center, where lifestyle changes are made.
Hillary Towers may very well be the Lake Martin area's best kept secret. An affordable senior citizens community located on Highway 22 East in Alexander City. Spacious one-bedroom units are currently available. Great location, peaceful setting, comfortable living where pets are allowed and utilities are included. Call today for more information on the newly renovated Hillary Towers, 256-329-0552. 256-329-0552. Hillary Towers, 22 East, Alexander City.
Sign Source is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
Satterfield Outdoor Living is Lake Martin's trusted friend for your outdoor land and leisure needs. We're the region's authorized Skag mower dealer for residential and commercial lawns and offer all the small engine accessories you need. With top lines of Steel, Echo, Shindaiwa, Husqvarna, and Metabo products that can tame any landscape. Satterfield is also your grill headquarters with Big Green Egg Grill. And our pros service everything in-house and back up all sales. Get the Satterfield Outdoor difference on Highway 280 right across from Tallapoosa Ford.
Passion, the obsession that burns within. Determination, the burning desire to make it. Drive, the motivation to be the absolute best. Skills, the tools to perform at the highest level. Excellence, the feeling of achievement. At Central Alabama Community College, you can release your passion, show your determination, display your drive, and showcase your skills to achieve excellence. Central Alabama Community College, central to you, central to your success.
At Team One Hyundai, it's the Summer Savings Sales Event. All new Hyundais will be sold at employee pricing, plus an unheard of $1,000 bonus for your trade-in. See our huge selection of new and pre-owned inventory at team1hyundai.com. Don't miss the summer savings with employee pricing, plus a $1,000 bonus for your trade. Team One Hyundai of Gadsden, where the experience exceeds your expectations.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you. About 20 more minutes left in the first hour of tonight's program. Next segment, we'll have, hopefully, Jordan D. Hill from Dogs 24/7 with us. The Georgia Bulldogs. Can you believe this is year 9 for Kirby in Athens? Got there in 2016. He's had only 2 years where they didn't win double digits. That was his first year, and 2020 when they went 8-2, and I guess did not play in a bowl game because of some issue.
Well, I mean, if you weren't in a bowl game if you weren't in the playoffs, I probably wouldn't have much wanted to play in a bowl game either.
Probably so. But you know, Mike Bobo's still the OC. Travarius Robinson now moves over to Georgia. The old Auburn safety that was.
Oh, he's been there.
Has he been there? I thought he was with Alabama for a while.
No, you're thinking of.
I'm fairly certain, wasn't he?
Yeah, you're right. You are right. Who? I'm thinking of Del McGee. That's who I'm thinking of. I'm sorry.
Del McGee no longer in Georgia.
Yeah, he's not in Georgia. You're right.
Well, it's
that's what I told you. I'm not right
two Auburn DBs.
Yeah,
I mean,
you should
just 30 years apart.
Yeah.
But I mean, no, probably 20 years apart. But anyway, yeah. So was Robinson at Alabama last year?
I believe that's right.
I think that's right. Okay, so he moves over to Georgia. And then another Auburn guy, Stacey Searles, the offensive line coach.
Stacey Searles has run the gamut in the SEC, hasn't he?
He's been everywhere but Auburn.
That's wild.
It's
He had
weird.
never been to Auburn?
He's never coached at Auburn, no. It is a little weird. But anyway, all right, last year, almost 500 yards of offense. That'd be fifth. 496, that would be fifth in the country. 191 yards rushing, that's 20th. 305 passing, that's 11th. So 40 points a game, that's fifth in the country. Pretty formidable group coming back.
Yeah, I mean, they got a good squad.
Except they're missing a big guy at tight end.
They are. Now, I just listened to Chip Towers, who's with Atlanta Journal-Constitution, I believe, and on the way over here, and you would have thought Georgia's already won it. The way he was talking, he said, I'm telling you what, Oscar Delp, he's really fitting right in where Brock Bowers was, and he's been able to shine now that Bowers is gone. And
Bowers is holding him back.
Yeah. Georgia's wide receiver crew is probably the best in the conference. The center, I can't remember the center's name. Cedric Van Pran, who was there last year, he was really good. He's moved on. He's like, I think he's going to have an all-pro type of year soon. And the guy moving in for him, he hadn't skipped a beat. I said, God almighty. I mean, you got to give me something.
Yeah, I mean, hey, look, do you expect anything less from Georgia at this point? They just seem to stack them up.
They got
now.
dudes. I mean, they got dudes. They got a bunch of dudes. I mean,
they've lost one game or two games in 3 years. So,
yeah, God, who beat them both those times?
They went 14-1 in 2021.
Who beat
think
them?
that one.
Who beat them both those times?
That would be interesting. Yeah, they did win two national titles.
It'd be crazy if it were the same team.
That would be crazy.
But anyway, yeah. So Georgia's going to be good. But the one thing that Chip never touched upon, and I think Georgia's going to lose a regular season game this year. They hadn't lost a regular season game in a while. I think that the SEC championship game is technically a regular season game. I can't remember, but they hadn't lost a true regular season game in a while. I think they'll lose one this year. You go to Texas, you go to Bama, you go to Ole Miss, Tennessee's in there somewhere. Now it's
Tennessee's late. It's
late
home.
and it's in Georgia. You got Clemson in Atlanta.
At Ole Miss, Tennessee back to back. That's interesting.
I mean, at Bama, Auburn at home. Now, again,
at Alabama, Auburn, Mississippi State, at Texas. That's a gambit.
The Mississippi State part makes it less of one, but
hey, don't sleep on State.
I'm sleeping. I'm resting
comfortably. You are snoring logs or sawing logs.
So, I think, but that's tough. I mean, you could play Alabama after a week off, and what'll be the game of the day. And then the next week you play an arch rival. I know Georgia's had their way with Auburn for how many years now?
All except the last one.
Well, I mean, but they beat them. I mean, I'm saying, yeah, they've had some other close games.
21-14 in 2019.
It was like 13-7 when that defensive back from Alabama returned an interception for back in that was Kirby's first year, I think, wasn't it?
What are we talking about?
When Auburn went to Athens and lost 13-7.
Okay.
And there was another time where Auburn probably could have won, but I think Georgia returned a punt for a touchdown or something in the
That was 15.
Yeah. So my point is this. Yeah, Auburn's been close to them, but Georgia's always won.
They have.
And you got to give them credit for that.
But you just said that they haven't been close. And
I said
that is true. I said up until last year. That's about right.
I said Georgia's had their way with them. And they have. I mean, Auburn hadn't won in Athens since 2006. So, again, but I'm saying, what I'm trying to say is it's going to be tough for them.
I hope it's a motivated Auburn team on homecoming.
Yeah, it is Georgia's homecoming. Well, is it Georgia's homecoming?
Yeah.
And your Missouri's homecoming too?
Yeah.
That's wild.
South Carolina's got Texas A&M's homecoming. It's just the way it is. And I still say it's really
not a big deal.
Meaningless.
I mean, it's like in-state recruiting. The importance has been diminished.
It's not quite that, but
the importance has been diminished. Well, it used to be homecoming. Everybody had a kind of a breezy game in the middle of the year where you were like, all right, I'm going to schedule you for homecoming.
Breezy.
Yeah. So now it's different now. I mean, you got to just schedule them where they fall.
You don't. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're not going.
You can if you want it to be a sorry game, you can make it a sorry game.
Well, you can't if the SEC says here's your schedule.
This whole business about Of course you can, because everybody is going to have a Patsy. It may only be one, but it has nothing to do with whether you were at home or on the road the week before. Nothing to do with that.
I always thought that.
Oh, that's sad.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
All right, so what I'm saying is you don't want your homecoming in November.
Well, why not?
Freezing cold.
In the South.
It gets cold. Were you at the Iron Bowl in 2000? I was. It's the coldest I've ever been.
That's just because it was raining and
it was raining and
it happened to be 37 degrees.
This half was snowing. This little bit was raining. That part was sleeting.
1 time out of 10 does not really
Still
count.
Cold.
Yeah.
Still cold. But
can't have a homecoming in November. Come on.
Do you want your homecoming roughly into September?
And that's fine.
In October.
Most everybody plays one Patsy in the first 4 weeks.
Well, you don't want to have it in the first 4 weeks. Give them a little time to realize how bad the team is.
Yeah, sure. Tennessee Tech, 9-7. Could have been homecoming. Mississippi State,
9-7? You're talking about Tennessee Tech after the Atlanta game?
I am, of course.
No, bro.
UMass, 11-23. Have a little Thanksgiving homecoming.
Oh, my God. They don't even want to go to that game. The students aren't even there.
I'm fine with it being Auburn. I'm glad it's Auburn. I hope
that'll show.
I hope they have a little bit of pride.
I mean,
hope it's
if I'd been beating a team that many times in a row, I'd have them for homecoming too.
I hope it's. I would. Hey, lob it on, pile it on. They deserve every bit of it. Pile it on, and again, I hope it tickles that pride bone just a little bit. All right, we got to take a break, but hopefully we come back. We'll talk to Jordan D. Hill of Dogs 24/7 right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
76% of nurses say they went into the profession because they wanted to help patients. No matter the reason you decided to become a nurse, you have all the tools needed to advance your degree at Jacksonville State University. Our Master's in Nursing program is now offered fully online and can be completed in less than 2 years. You can customize a flexible course schedule so you can receive your advanced education degree all while working on the front line. JSU Nursing, your opportunity to advance your career and serve your community.
You've dreamed about the perfect house, a place to call your own, and a place to not only stretch out, but to grow. Auto Owners protects your house because to you, it's home. That's simple human sense. Happy to help, man. I was just over there talking to myself anyway.
Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation is coming soon to the corner of 280 and 49 North in Dadeville. This new 10,000 square foot facility is conveniently located to serve the residents of the Lake Martin area and its many communities. A branch of Frederick Dean Funeral Home and Crematory in Opelika, Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation looks forward to serving your families and your communities, as we have since 1900 at Frederick Dean. 256-750-0381.
There's only one option for top-of-the-line aftermarket upgrades on your vehicle, and that's Frontline Outfitters. We offer quality parts, lift kits, custom wheels and tires, bed covers, step bars, and toolboxes that are installed by trained and skilled professionals, to custom powder coating with hundreds of colors and finishes, to the highest quality film for window tinting using state-of-the-art film cutting technology. Call Frontline Outfitters at 256-409-8100. Don't be in the back of the line. Put your vehicle at the front with Frontline Outfitters.
Looking to transform your outdoor space? Look no further than Bama Sheds. As a family-owned and operated business, we understand your needs. That's why we offer no credit check, rent-to-own options. Enjoy free delivery and setup within 35 miles of our 4 convenient locations. Whether you need a shed, pole barn, garage, or carport, we've got you covered. Visit our website at bamasheds.com or call 256-268-8484. Bama Sheds, where quality meets affordability and your outdoor dreams become reality.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy Graham and Luke Robinson here with you. Just one more segment in the first hour of tonight's program. We're going to go to the phone line and welcome in Mr. Jordan D. Hill with Dogs 24/7. Been with us before several times. Jordan, how you doing this evening?
Doing good. It's hard to believe that football's right around the corner. I guess for a little bit over 3 weeks till Georgia gets the season going. So couldn't be better, guys.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for taking some time for us tonight. Let's talk about the Georgia Bulldogs a little bit. 2 national championships in 21 and 22 last year. Miss out on the playoff, losing in the SEC title game, but only 2 losses in 3 years, both of those to Alabama. Let's go swinging right out of the gate. Does Georgia have an Alabama problem?
Well, I think they do, but it's going to be interesting to see if this year's Alabama is the same one that they've had to play in the past. I mean, obviously, Nick Saban retiring sort of changes the calculus there. You look at this year's Alabama team, got Jalen Milroe back, but lost some big playmakers, and you think about Isaiah Bond being at Texas now, and Texas also pulled over a tight end that played for the Crimson Tide. So it definitely was an issue in the past. I mean, Kirby only beat Nick Saban once, and it was for a national title. But, there's a lot of unknowns in Tuscaloosa, especially more than we're accustomed to seeing in the last decade and change. So, it's really interesting the way the schedule fell. Alabama's first SEC game is going to be hosting Georgia in the middle of September. So they definitely had an Alabama problem in the past, but by the time we get to that game and we see how that game plays out, we're going to see if that's still going to be the same situation in the Kalen DeBoer era.
Do you look at this schedule? You're at Tuscaloosa, Clemson in Atlanta, at Ole Miss, at Texas. Do you look at all of this and say, yeah, I still think Georgia can go undefeated?
It's going to be really difficult, I think, especially at those games at Alabama and at Texas. But it's one of those situations for Georgia. I don't think they could have picked a better time for the playoff to expand to 12 teams. When you have that, you have more of a margin for error. If they drop that Alabama game, especially it being relatively early in the regular season, and you have a little bit more leeway. You can't afford a whole lot more losses after that if you want to make a 12-team playoff. But it's not necessarily a killer like it might be in the traditional 14 playoff. So it's going to be really difficult for Georgia to go undefeated. I mean, to go to Tuscaloosa, to go to Austin, to go to Oxford, that's going to take a lot to get out of those games unscathed. But they have a shot. It will be very hard. But, again, they're looking at a situation where if they do drop one of those games, even one of them early in the year, it's not quite as a critical hit as it's been in years past.
In fact, I maintain, and I've been saying on this show for a while, that if Alabama, Georgia, somebody like that, go Texas even, maybe not Texas because their schedule is a little lax, but I would probably include Texas just because they got Michigan on the non-conference. If they go 10-2, I think they're 100% in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I even think with Georgia, if you win the right combination, if you go 9-3, again, with the right combination, maybe you can still make it. Again, you don't want to rest on, we can afford 3 losses, but I think definitely 10-2, if you got the right schedule, you can still make your way into a 12-team playoff.
This Georgia team obviously overflowing with talent. We know what they had last year. What all outside of Brock Bowers did Georgia lose, and what all do they have coming back?
Well, I think, really one of the big questions as far as what they lost 3 starters in the secondary and really need guys to step up. I mean, you lose guys like Javon Bullard, Kamari Lassiter, Tyke Smith. They're lucky in the secondary they got Malachi Starks coming back, but they got a lot of ongoing battles to fill the rest of the secondary, and I think that's going to be be a situation we got to watch closely now. As far as on the other side of the ball, some of the playmakers, they got Dylan Bell back. They got Dominic Lovett, who Lovett was one of their leading wide receivers. Brock Bowers had more receptions and yards, but Dominic Lovett was their leading wide receiver. So getting him back is big. They got a very interesting player out of the portal, or wide receiver Colby Young from Miami, who's 6'3", and has gotten a lot of buzz, especially during spring practice. He was really impressive. And then sort of the other area to really watch with this team is running back. They lost their 2 leading rushers from last year, but bringing Trevor Etienne from Florida, got Roderick Robinson back for his sophomore year, and signed 3 freshmen who several of them make plays to this point in fall camp. And it'd be a mistake to not mention the offensive line. They got 4 starters back from a year ago. They're feeling pretty confident about that group. Need Jared Wilson, the starting center, to get healthy, to get ready for the season. But there's a lot of excitement with what this team brings back. They do face some questions, like I kind of pointed to during fall camp, but they got about 3 more weeks to go to try to answer those and to get ready to play Clemson in Atlanta.
All right, Jordan, thank you so much for taking some time for us tonight. Great information about the Georgia Bulldogs and the 2024 season coming up. Can't believe it's only about 3 weeks away. Looking forward to it.
Definitely looking forward to it and appreciate catching up with you guys.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Jordan D. Hill from Dogs 24/7. If you're a Georgia fan, go and check out all of their material. You probably already do if you're a Georgia fan. But you mentioned it. This is a difficult schedule for Georgia. Is it the kind of schedule you see them going undefeated? Does it really matter?
I mean, I don't think it matters. Like I said, I think that you can go 10-2 in the SEC. Now, Ole Miss might not be able to this year because they just don't have – they wouldn't have enough quality wins. Missouri, I don't know if they could because, again, same problem. I mean, it would depend on where the wins were. But, I think Bama, Georgia, LSU, Texas, I think definitely Oklahoma. If Oklahoma is able to go 10-2, bully for them. I don't think they'll be able to.
But he ought to be coach of the year if they get.
If he gets to 10-2 with that schedule, it's brutal. But I'm with him. I think 9-3. If the losses are kind of strategic, I think that can work. It depends. A lot of things depend on, does the Big 12 get more than one in? A lot of people don't think they will. How many is the Big 10 going to swallow up? How many is the ACC going to be able to get more than one? Again, I don't think they will, but we'll see. And then, of course, the group of 5 will get one in,
right,
for sure. And then Notre Dame, will they get in? They could take a spot, but it's going to be interesting. I mean, look,
who will the group of 5 team be?
Huh?
Who will the group of 5 team be?
A lot of people think it may still be Liberty. I've seen Liberty. I'm trying to think who are the other group of 5 teams that I've seen featured. Is Memphis one of them? I don't know.
Memphis was good last year.
Memphis and Florida State play this year, which I think Mike Norvell came from Memphis. I can't remember who else is even a possibility as a group of 5.
I don't.
I mean, because when you think about normal group of 5 teams, they're all in the Big 12 or ACC now.
That's true. I mean, are Washington State and Oregon State considered group of 5 teams now, playing basically a Mountain West schedule?
Boy, I don't know. I don't know what they'd be considered.
Yeah.
Besides irrelevant.
That's probably no group of 5
teams. Do you feel sorry for them?
In the top 25.
Do you feel sorry for them?
No.
Washington State and Oregon State?
Not really. I mean, if they cared more about football then they would probably have gone to a bigger conference.
That's where I am. I mean, if I'm going to be the guy who says, hey, 10-2, 9-3 gets you in with an SEC schedule, I can't feel sorry for teams like that because I look around the SEC and I go, hey, all I see is passion and care. Now, the most diehard Washington State or Oregon State fan may be equal to the most diehard Auburn or Alabama fan. They may be. But on the whole, we got a lot more than they got, and we contribute a lot more to it.
Yeah.
You know, I just don't know. You know, Drew Bledsoe came out of Washington State.
Yeah.
What else?
Who was the big?
Tim,
who was the bust?
Huh?
Who was the bust? That came out with Peyton Manning?
Ryan Leaf. Ryan Leaf.
Yeah. Go out. Yeah. Okay. So
there's two.
Yeah. I'm out.
Yeah.
Well, Ocho Cinco came from Oregon State.
He came from Oregon State, and so did T.J. Houshmandzadeh when they were both at Cincinnati.
And Dennis Erickson.
But I think they both came from junior college too. So I mean, it's like, I'm not saying it discounts.
I mean, Oregon State. The guy was a quarterback at Oregon State, and he did a really good job as head coach, and he left.
Yeah.
Because he said this is not there's no future here.
Yeah.
So I mean,
and he's right.
He was right.
And I mean, look, it's not anybody else's fault that you don't put your money into facilities. And you say, well, we don't have the money to do it. Well, then that's not our fault either.
I mean, all those teams together, I don't feel sorry for Stanford and all them having to go all across the country. If the Pac-12 had actually been anything worth saving, it would have been saved.
You know, the Pac-12 was this close to getting Texas and Oklahoma. Remember, they almost got them. And if they had gotten them instead of the Big 12, you know, who knows what would happen.
True. Well, Big 12 probably disbanded.
Yeah, well, that was what everybody thought, was the Big 12 was going away.
Yeah.
And, you know, the Big 12 makes a resurgence. I mean, it just goes, you know, the Pac-12 always, the Conference of Champions, they have all these swimming championships and volleyball and pickleball and whatever ball. But if you don't have football, it doesn't matter.
No. All right, we're going to go ahead and take a break, but never fear, hour number 2 of Sports Blitz Live is on the way right after this.
With summer here, the kids out of school, and fun at the lake, illness or injury can strike at any time. Whether you're on vacation or just don't have time to go see your primary doctor, visit your friends and professionals at Ivy Creek Urgent Care, located at Highway 49 South, next to Stillwater's main entrance, with a rotation of 4 professional doctors and 3 nurse practitioners. They honor all walk-ins, get you in, properly treated, and out swift so you can be back to the summer fun fast. When you need urgent, see Ivy Creek Urgent Care, Daveville. No appointment needed.
The new owners of Stillwater's Country Club want to welcome you to play the area's premier course at Stillwater's with our new rate. Now, play for only $35 per 18 during the week and only $40 for the weekend. Stillwater's Golf is ready to give you the area's best golf experience, and many upgrades are coming, including a lighted range and course expansion. Meet the new staff and enjoy $35 per 18 Monday through Friday and $40 on the weekends. All at Stillwater's Country Club in Dadeville.
They say we live in an age of big data, where computers and fancy algorithms are supposed to know you best. But at Country Financial, we know helping you own your future requires, well, something much bigger. Contact your local Country Financial representative and start planning for your future with a personal touch.
The good guys at Alex City Marine are ready for your boating needs all summer. And now you can get up to $4,500 in rebates on our huge selection of new Landau Tritoons and sacrifice pricing on remaining 23 models. Alex City Marine also has a new fleet of rental boats for fabulous days on the water, whether it's service, new pontoon selections, or rental boats. See the pros the locals know. Alex City Marine on Cherokee Road in Alexander City, or online at alexcitymarine.com.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Main Street Family Care offers a wide array of services that allows them to treat many conditions, and they also offer primary care. In addition to these services, they also offer DOT physical exams, lab testing, sports physicals, and vaccines. They accept most major insurance plans, including Medicaid. Main Street Family Care, open 7 days a week. Main Street Family Urgent Care. Heal better, feel better fast.
If you listen carefully, you'll hear the roads of Alabama calling. Tony Sarah Ford has your answer. Serving you for over 40 years with one of the largest Ford and pre-owned inventories in the state and the Sarah Promise. Right now, valued customers receive up to $4,000 on select 2023 F-150 trucks plus 1.9% APR, or a new Bronco Sport for $393 a month plus $750 bonus cash. Alabama can be yours to discover in a new vehicle from Tony Sarah Ford in Sylacauga.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you, hour number 2. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us. Thank you to Jordan D. Hill of Dogs 24, Dogs 24/7. Upcoming in the next segment, hopefully, we will get to speak with Alex Jones. They're turning the frogs. No, they're a different guy. Alex Jones, 24/7, The Big Spur. The Big Spur, 24/7 Sports.
God, it could have been something else, but I'm glad.
Well,
You think they gave some thought?
No. We mentioned the coaches poll is out, top 25. Where are your Auburn Tigers?
I know where my Auburn Tigers are.
32nd.
Yeah.
32nd on this list. Teams above your Auburn Tigers: Boise State, Memphis, SMU,
SMU's not going to be bad.
Virginia Tech, Louisville, and Washington. Those are the teams also receiving votes.
Yeah, Washington's an interesting case. There's one guy that voted for Michigan, number one, because he's like, hey, you're number one until somebody beats you. And I've always thought that's kind of dumb because, especially now, there's so much turnover. They lost their coach.
At least it's a believable excuse.
Yeah. I mean, voting Vandy to win the SEC is much dumber.
Yes.
But I get where this guy's coming from, and I think it's noble. I just think it's misguided. But, that's what somebody was talking about today. Well, Michigan, God, I feel like Michigan's being disrespected a little bit. They're like number 8. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And he said, well, what about Washington? They were in the championship game.
Yeah.
Had a good shot at it. And they're not even
lost their coach
25.
and their quarterback.
No, they did lose their coach and their quarterback, and they lost Roma Doomsday. Yeah. They lost Parker Brailsford. They lost some other dudes from that offensive line that won the Joe Moore Award. They lost a lot. And I get it. I get it. But I have a hard time not ranking them at all. I just feel like, okay, so who? Give me 3 teams, 25, 24, 23.
Iowa, 25.
Okay, I would say Washington's better than Iowa. Now, if they played in Iowa, sure, I would beat them 2-0. But if they play anywhere else and Washington can score 8 touchdowns, I feel pretty good about it.
Kansas, 24.
I think Kansas is going to be pretty good. I like Jaden Daniels a lot.
Southern Cal, 23.
I don't like them. I am really interested in that LSU Southern Cal game, though. I please Southern Cal, just give them a game. I kind of want LSU to win, just SEC. But I just want it to be a game because there's no other game.
Yeah.
Don't be a stinker.
Is that the Sunday game?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Don't be a stinker and be the only game. You can be a stinker and be okay. I can change it on a Saturday.
I mean, 3 letters, big time programs. It's going to be good regardless. Your North Carolina State Wolfpack.
That is
number
criminally
22.
low to me. I'm going to be a sinking fist into the ocean that NC State has a playoff shot.
Teams below your Auburn Tigers. West Virginia, not East Virginia, but West Virginia.
I have no idea what West Virginia is going to be this year. I know they were pretty good last year, though.
I'm going to guess mediocre. Wisconsin.
I found that to be interesting that they weren't in the top 25.
If Alabama doesn't go in and just blow them off the field, people are going to say,
I feel better
my
about
goodness,
it now.
what are you doing?
Well, Wisconsin
Alabama's no good.
Wisconsin will be 2-0. Bama will be 2-0. It's an 11 o'clock game. That's what I hate. I can't even tailgate. It's an 11 o'clock game.
True.
So we're going to
breakfast.
Going to
brunch.
Get a brat
brunch.
We're going to get a bratwurst and some cheese curds and then sit around and watch games the rest of the day.
I mean, what else is there to do? They will. I don't know if you know this, but in the fourth quarter,
they jump around.
They jump around.
We're all looking forward to that.
Liberty is behind Wisconsin. Iowa State behind Auburn Tigers. Kentucky, way down the list here.
I think Kentucky's going to be better than you think.
All those teams I just named, including Kentucky, the next team on the list also receiving votes, the Florida Gators.
Who
My
voted?
goodness.
Sweet Mother Earth, who voted for them?
I mean, that's just wow.
And again,
in between Kentucky and South Carolina sits the Florida Gators.
And again, I think that's muscle memory voting because, Florida probably has.
It's like 40th, Luke. I mean,
yeah, but their roster isn't bad, but their schedule is one of the hardest I've ever seen. I mean, again, okay, if you think they're the 40th best team, I don't. I mean, I think that the record's going to play out where they're going to have a bad record. And
what if they come out and beat Miami at home by 3 touchdowns?
Then I'll say, hey, I was wrong.
Well, they could still lose 7 games if they win that.
Yeah, I know. I would say I was wrong about that one.
Okay. Other teams behind Auburn, South Carolina, North Carolina. Wow, North Carolina.
They're not going to be.
They fell off the earth, haven't they?
They Mac Brown.
This is going to wrap it up.
It was time to go.
The Running Rebs from UNLV.
They
possibly maybe a group of 5.
Oof, that'd be kind of cool if they got in.
Maryland, not much love for the former Alabama OC. Texas Tech, Central Florida. Way down the list here.
Again,
not much expected from Gus.
Call me nuts. I think Central Florida's going to be better than you.
Justin Jefferson there? No, not
Justin. Boy, they'd be really good. KJ Jefferson.
KJ Jefferson. Behind them, UTSA. Texas San Antonio.
Yeah, I know who they are.
Not many people do. Tulane.
AHSAA. You mean AHSAA?
App State. Texas State. I wonder if
how many votes?
Yeah, there's a lot of also receiving. They received 2 votes. At Texas State. I wonder if I can't even remember his name now.
Some of these votes were like hanging chads.
Who's the quarterback that was at LSU? There was Auburn, and then
TJ Finley.
TJ Finley. I wonder if he threw for like 1,000,000 yards.
Western Kentucky. Did you say that? That's Alabama's opening opponent.
No, Texas State.
I think TJ Finley's at Western Kentucky now.
Did he transfer again?
I think he's at Western
grief.
Kentucky. Because Jimmy and I were talking about
it's only his 5th school.
Yeah, because I'm going to look it up here in a second, but I took his word for it.
That'd be the first time.
I took his word for it because I was like, I'm not looking that up. And because I thought it's how interesting. Alabama, their schedule is Western Kentucky with TJ Finley, who's played Alabama 2 different times on other teams.
Yeah.
So LSU on Tigers, LSU.
And nearly beat Alabama.
And then Alabama plays South Florida with Jalen Milroe as a starter against a team that he didn't play against last year. Yeah. And then you go to Wisconsin, which is just weird.
That's true.
And then you have the off week, and then Georgia. I mean, that's a very strange 4-game opening sequence for Alabama.
I don't disagree. Nebraska got 2 votes. Colorado got 2 votes. Troy, Air Force, James Madison, Miami, Ohio, and rounding it out, the Orangeman from Syracuse.
Look, did you see Deion Sanders the other day?
I did not. I try not to.
Deion Sanders came out and said, this was a video, I think Colorado posted it, they're sort of proud of it. He came out and said, now, I don't want anybody touching the quarterbacks, okay? We all kind of get that.
Is he talking to other
teams? He's
teams?
talking to the rest of the team.
Okay.
Nobody touch quarterbacks. I want anybody touching the receivers. Okay, seems a little bit off, but I understand, if maybe you don't. And he said, nobody under any circumstance touch Travis Hunter. And I thought to myself, times have changed. And look, I get it. You don't want your stars to get hurt. I understand that. It makes sense. And if Colorado loses Travis Hunter, the season's gone. I got bad news for them. They ain't going to be good with him.
No.
So
I wouldn't imagine.
I just feel like, what kind of message are you sending to all the other players? We can knock your block off.
Yeah.
And
we can do without you.
Look, it's one thing when it's a quarterback, and they had E.J. Manuel and, who's the former LSU fullback that played in the pros for a while. Anyway, they had him on, they were talking about it, and he was like, look, I don't see how you can possibly get away with that. And E.J. Manuel said, well, I get it. In the pros, you want to protect your investments. And he said, yeah, but at some point, somebody's going – if I'm a defensive back, when I line up against Travis Hunter, if he's playing offense, I'm going to say, I'm going to jam you as hard as I can the first chance I get. And he goes, well, I'll just go right by you. You might, You might, but your quarterback who hadn't had to dodge actual people coming at him, he might be sacked too. So, I mean, I just feel like you're just asking.
There's a plausible theory that if you don't hit or have any kind of contact in practice, you're more likely to get hurt during games. So,
but and again, I get it. When somebody gets hurt, everybody goes, "Well, they shouldn't have been on the kickoff team. Well, they shouldn't have been tackling that close to the game. Well, they shouldn't." It's football. You get hurt. I mean,
that's part of it. Got to take a break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with Alex Jones from the Big Spur right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Since 1908, many talented tradesmen and women have proudly represented the Dixie Electric Plumbing and Air name. We are grateful for their commitment to excellence, always providing our clients with quality work that we're glad to guarantee you with 100% satisfaction. No matter the problem, the Dixie Electric team is here for you, serving the Montgomery and Auburn areas. Thank you for choosing a locally owned company.
For more information, go to calldixie.com.
Call Dixie and it's done.
If you haven't been to Big B Barbecue in Alex City, then you're missing the best barbecue around. Big B has everything from the best pulled or chopped pork, chicken, and beef to cheeseburgers and grilled chicken salads. Bring your friends and family out for a great dinner and sit outside on our beautiful patio, or sit inside and enjoy your meal by the fireplace. So come in and join us and enjoy the best barbecue in the area only at Big B Barbecue, located on Highway 22 West in Alex City.
I'm Jimmy Goree with Goree's Furniture. We would like to invite you to come shop our huge selection of furniture. But if you don't have time, we have over 2,000 items you can have shipped directly to your home. Go to GoreesFurniture.com, look for 48-hour quick ship. Shop, click, ship, it's just that easy. You can shop us here, or you can shop us online, only at Goree's Furniture.
Your express way to saving.
At Majestic Caverns, we believe in the power of unforgettable experiences. At a cool 60 degrees year-round, America's most historic caverns guarantees an enjoyable escape. But it doesn't stop there. With over 20 above-ground attractions, including 5 new ones this year, and our Cave Cafe, which offers delicious drinks and plenty of food options. And don't miss our exciting event, Libertas. On June 29th, July 6th, and July 13th, enjoy live entertainment and much more. At Majestic Caverns, your unforgettable adventure awaits.
Check out these great offers at Glenn Smith and Opelika.
At Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika, you can own one of the best-selling vehicles in the USA, the GMC Sierra pickup. Right now, discounted up to $15,500 off. The roomy and comfortable compact SUV, the GMC Terrain, is up to $7,750 off.
Choose from over 400 new and used vehicles on the lot or on the way to Glenn Smith and Opelika. Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you. Just about 40 more minutes left in tonight's show. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us tonight. We're going to go back to the phone line and welcome in Alex Jones from 24/7 Sports, the Big Spur. Alex, let's talk a little bit about the South Carolina Gamecocks. Last year, 5-7, probably a disappointment for Shane Beamer and the Gamecocks. Looking forward to this year, you look down through the schedule. How do you think it matches up with this team this year? What is the general outlook moving forward?
Yeah, I think there's some optimism around the South Carolina team right now. One of the big things they had to work on in the offseason was, improving offensively in the run game. Obviously, lost some key contributors in Spencer Rattler and Xavier Leggett, but brought some guys in at running back, especially Raheem Sanders, the guy who is going to play a big part, the Arkansas transfer. And they think they've improved offensively on the offensive line. So I think those two changes are going to be a pretty big part in seeing how South Carolina improves this year.
How's Nicholas Harbor looking? I mean, that's one of the biggest commitments and signees South Carolina's gotten over the last few years, and he is just a freak of nature. I just suspect he's going to be an all-star candidate no matter what he's doing.
Right, yeah. I mean, physically, he looks the part. Just a really good-looking, really good-looking wide receiver. He got all the speed in the world. It's just the one thing, as the coaching staff has kind of talked about how, just continue to be an all-around receiver and, just more than just the speed part. But, it seems like, after he got done with the track, everything with track, he's kind of worked on, getting on the jugs machine, working with his hands. So it seems like he may be ready to take a next step here in year 2 in the program.
Tell us about South Carolina's quarterback situation.
Yeah, so they're expected to go with Lenora Sellers to start off. He's entering his second year at South Carolina. Obviously behind Spencer Rattler last year, got to learn a lot and got in some games and showed flashes of potential, threw a couple nice touchdowns against in week 2 of the season and had some runs where they kind of put him in for a special package later in the season. But, with them, they got Lenora Sellers and then Auburn transfer Robbie Ashford's in the mix too. He's going to be a guy who, may kind of have that role where they have some special packages for him. But, Lenora Sellers seems to be the guy, and they're really excited for what he can do this year.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question about Robbie Ashford. How do you think he fits into the offense? So is he the number 2 guy right now?
I think that could be. I think that is the case. I think what they see in him, they kind of like. He kind of mentioned today or a couple of weeks ago when we got to talk to him just how excited he is just to be competing, with Lenora Sellers and how they both can help each other out. But as you guys know, like he can be really good with his legs, and I think they're still working on some things, in the passing game with him. But I think those two competing with each other are going to really help each other out.
When you look at the schedule, opening up with Old Dominion, but at Kentucky and LSU, right out of the gate there, that's going to be a pretty challenging stretch there. Overall, up and down, what would you consider to be, I guess, a reasonable outcome, and what would you expect, or what would you surmise to be maybe what are they looking for? What are they hoping to achieve this year?
Just from a season overall perspective?
Yeah.
Just to obviously show improvement for what they did last year. I think there's a path to. I think obviously they want to get back to a bowl game, and Shane Beamer has mentioned, that we do want to do more than get back to that bowl game. I think there's a path to it. A lot of things are going to come down to, defensively they got a lot of talent returning, and especially defensive line and in the secondary. They're pretty excited for what that defense can do, but it's going to be huge in preseason camp to figure out, what's the offense going to look like. A lot of new pieces that really each position on the offensive line. So there's a lot of meshing that's got going. And, you mentioned that Kentucky game. I think South Carolina's going to learn a lot about itself week 2 in Kentucky. It's, as you guys know, Kentucky's always got a really good defense and got some players on offense this year. So that's a huge game early in the season. It's going to tell a lot about where South Carolina is heading into the season.
Well, Alex, we really appreciate your time tonight. Thank you so much for educating us a little bit about South Carolina. Wish you guys the best of the luck moving forward. Maybe we'll catch up a little bit later down the line.
Awesome. I appreciate y'all having me on.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Alex Jones from 24/7 Sports, the Big Spur.
The Big Spur.
The Big Spur. All right, we're going to go ahead and take another break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Sports Blitz Live right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
If you're tired of the same old and you're hungry for something really good, then it's time to go to JR's Sports Bar and Grill. JR's has the best fingers and wings around, and their menu is loaded with appetizers, burgers, salads, and so much more. Follow JR's on their Facebook to keep up with their live music events and drink specials. And if after a long day you just want to stay in, remember JR's delivers. Call in your order at 256-329-2328. JR Sports Bar and Grill, 145 Alabama Street in Alexander City.
Inspired by the bold bison, Southern Union students blaze new trails every single day. They press forward knowing their SU education will lead them to success. Affordable, accessible, and locally unparalleled. Whether you're transitioning to a university or launching straight into a lucrative career, a degree from SU-SCC can help you blaze your path. 3 locations, dedicated faculty and staff, endless possibilities. It's all waiting for you at Southern Union. It's time to venture forward. Register today.
Lee Apparel is your go-to vendor for screen printed and embroidered apparel and promotional products. We print and embroider free custom-made graphics or outsourced designs on everything from t-shirts, headwear, corporate wear, team sportswear, high-end safety apparel, and promotional products. At Lee Apparel, you can always expect quick turnaround time, competitive pricing, friendly customer service, and free in-hands delivery on all orders. Visit us at leeapparel.com to get started.
There's only one clear choice in the Lake Martin area for plumbing, heating, and air. That's All Clear Plumbing and Air. Our professionally trained technicians offer full service repair and installation on all major brands. From drips to water heaters, thermostats to entire air conditioning and heating systems, and everything in between. Our fast, reliable, and guaranteed top-notch customer service will keep you informed and up to speed through the entire process. Call us today or look for us on Facebook and Instagram at All Clear Plumbing and Air, 256-496-2056. License number 19172.
Are you ready to save big on a new Chevrolet?
Make your way to Glenn Smith Chevrolet for the Chevy Summer Drive. Choose America's #1 compact SUV, the Chevy Equinox, discounted up to $6,000 off. Or powerful full-size Chevy Silverados for up to $14,750 off. And fuel-efficient Chevy Malibus up to $5,750 off. Make your way to Glenn Smith Chevrolet.
Get ready to smile.
Thank you. Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you. Just a couple more segments left in tonight's show. Thank you so much for being with us. South Carolina. Appreciate Alex Jones. He does a great job with the Big Spur. No, I'm not going to go there. All right. Looking at last year, losses to North Carolina to start, neutral site, at Georgia, only by 10 points, by the way.
Wasn't awful.
Then you get a win at Mississippi State, but then loss at Tennessee by 3 touchdowns, loss to Florida at home by 2 points. I think they blew a big lead.
They did. That was a bad
if I'm
loss.
not mistaken. Loss at Missouri by 20 points. Loss at Texas A&M by 12 points.
Wow.
So 4-game losing streak right there in the middle of the season. Then they lost to Clemson to close things out.
Well, run down their schedule this year.
Old Dominion at Kentucky, LSU at home.
I love
Akron.
South Carolina, Kentucky. How smart is it to get those two like non-traditional powers playing each other early where nobody else is playing?
It's a 2:30 ABC game.
That's great.
Yeah.
Love it.
Akron after that. Then they get a bye. Ole Miss at home.
Okay.
At Alabama, at Oklahoma. So Ole Miss at Alabama, at Oklahoma.
So, I mean, 3.
Could they win any of those? I mean, that's the.
I mean, Ole Miss coming off a bye.
Yep.
Potential. You know, again,
at home.
Yeah. I keep remembering
Tough
about
place to
Lane
play.
Kiffin going to remember when he played Sam Pittman in Arkansas, at Arkansas a few years ago, and Arkansas just, Ole Miss couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
Maybe he's changed that. I don't know. Maybe it'll be better. But people. I mean, Ole Miss got a good receiving core, but they did lose Quinshon Judkins.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's true. After the bye on the road trip to Oklahoma, Texas A&M at home, at Vandy, Missouri at home, Wofford at home, and at Clemson. So Texas A&M, Missouri, and at Clemson.
I mean, I see 5 losses.
3 out of the last 5.
Bare minimum.
I mean,
I'm thinking 6-6, 7-5.
Yeah. Well, that would be an improvement over last year.
Yeah, I mean, they got to
get back to a bowl game.
They got to win one of those 3. At Bama, at Oklahoma. Oof.
Ole Miss, at Alabama, at Oklahoma.
That's tough.
Yeah, that's probably going to be another middle of the season swoon.
That's going to be a swoon.
But, okay, I mean, going back, we always love to talk about those 11-win seasons Steve Spurrier had. That was more than 10 years ago. Okay, so
they had 3 in a row, though, right?
They did. Last 10 years, though. Last 10 years.
How many years?
Last 10 years. 7-6.
Okay.
10 years.
Okay.
7-6, 3-9.
Okay.
6-7.
Okay.
9-4.
Okay.
7-6,
Okay.
4-8, 2-8, 7-6, 8-5, 5-7. I mean, that is the definition of mediocrity or below.
Yeah, it's not good.
They have since those 11-win seasons, their highlight is a 9-win 2017 season.
It goes back to what I said, that Texas, Oklahoma coming in the league is wonderful for South Carolina. It means more money for South Carolina and all those things. But it knocks South Carolina 2 pegs down. 100%, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
It knocks Arkansas. It doesn't mean that Arkansas and South Carolina can never beat those 2 teams. It means that, on the whole, they are knocked down 2 pegs from where they were. So it's going to be that much more difficult to ever be considered for a playoff. I mean, so South Carolina is generally out of playoff discussion if they were even in it by the end of September.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, with a 16-team playoff in a couple of years, they'll have a better shot and all this. But, I mean, it's going to be tough. I mean, when you talk about, okay, every year you're going to probably play in Oklahoma or Texas along with your normal SEC schedule, it's going to be a bear, man.
Yeah, it's not going to be.
It's not going to be good.
Not going to be good. By the way, JJ had South Carolina dead last, going 1-7, and Vandy going 1-7.
Vandy beating South Carolina though?
I don't think. Yeah, I guess so.
Well, who'd South Carolina beat?
That's a good. I think. I don't know. It's a good question.
Do you want to go to 9 games?
No.
What I'm afraid about that's about to happen is. So obviously next year we're just flip-flopping the SEC schedule, right? So if you were home, you'll be away, and away you'll be home.
Is that how that works?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you're keeping the same opponents.
Right.
Usually you switch somebody up. I think it's stupid to do this because the whole point, everybody was like, we want to be able to see all these other stadiums.
I thought we were rotating. Yeah.
Well, okay, so
this is just kicking the ball down the line. Let's kick it down the road.
Until somebody comes up with more money. I mean, the SEC is going to be like, we're not going to 9 games unless you give us more money.
My main reason for not wanting to go to 9 is that the Big Ten is under this impression that they think they can guilt us into it.
Yeah,
and I find that hilarious.
No, they can't.
And that's why I don't want to go.
They can't go to. They will guilt us into it if they want to think that's what they did. If ABC pays us more money,
right?
Disney pays us more money, and I think that's what will have to happen. But the problem with that is, I mean, I think if you go to 9 games. I think if you're Alabama, you say, I'm not doing that. I mean, okay, I'll do that, but I'm not playing Florida State and Wisconsin and 9 SEC games.
Yeah.
And I kind of like playing Florida State and Wisconsin.
All right. Yeah, I like the idea of having 2 major out-of-conference games every year. That's definitely a lot more fun for sure. Practice right now. Anything going on at Alabama that we should know about? Or what's the latest?
Well, I mean, we thought they were going to full pads today. They didn't. It's psych, but they went to shoulder pads and shorts or whatever.
Half pads.
Yeah, half pads. And, I think it's the one thing that came out that blows everybody away, and me too at first, all the new heights and weights come out. But as Jimmy told me on the podcast, he goes, Alabama really didn't ever update the heights and weights last year. So some of these heights and weights are what they were when they were in high school. So you're like, oh, my God, Keon Keeley put on 35 pounds. Well, he's put on 35 pounds since high school.
Right.
So, yeah, and he does look bigger, and he's 35 pounds. But so it gave me less reason to be excited about some of these guys. But, they go to full pads tomorrow. Milroe's been pretty sharp. You're throwing against air, so you can't glean a whole lot. There will be a scrimmage this weekend for Alabama. It will be closed. In fact, there's usually a Red Elephant Club scrimmage that people can attend if they're a member of the Red Elephant Club. And this year, I don't think they're going to have it. And I'm fine with it this year because Kalen DeBoer has been very open about practice. I mean, like he's let a lot more media be involved, or not necessarily be involved, but be there, be in attendance. And so to say, hey, we're not going to do an open scrimmage for anybody this year, maybe, then I'm okay with that. But next year, I think you got to have it because you got to appease the boosters, especially now because you got to make sure everybody's still shelling out NIL money.
Oh yeah.
So I just found that a little bit interesting, but there hadn't been a lot. And I'll tell you one thing I did want to bring up that you're talking about scheduling, and remember how last year I kept saying that, Alabama played a tough schedule. That's why they got the breaks. That's what Auburn should do. I give Bruce Pearl all the credit in the world. I don't think he listened to me, but I'm saying
I think he's going overboard.
Well, I think Alabama and Auburn have the two toughest schedules in the country next year. I mean, I don't think but they both play Houston, both play Purdue.
And
Auburn plays
play
Duke.
each other.
They play each other. Auburn play, and by the way, both those
Twice.
games are going to be on Saturdays this year.
Good.
I just found that out earlier today.
That's about time.
Because I know the Bama game in Bama in Tuscaloosa has been like on a weeknight since like 2016 or 17 or something, which is stupid. But anyway, I know Auburn goes to Duke, Bama goes to North Carolina, Alabama's going to a tournament in Vegas,
now,
Auburn's going to Maui. That's what I said. They both play Purdue. They both play Houston. Auburn plays Ohio State. I know Alabama's got, I think, Creighton at home. I mean, it's ridiculous, but I love it. And I think what I said last year, everybody kept saying, well, losses don't matter. No, they do matter. As long as you're playing good teams, they give you a little bit of leeway for that, which I'm on board for.
Especially early.
I am on board because I'd rather see good games than see you beat up on a bunch of soup cans. And, man, I give Bruce Pearl and Nate Oates, obviously, a lot of credit because I think they've put together the two best schedules in the country. And all it does is attract people to watch your games. When your best game, Auburn's best game, non-conference last year was at App State. That's not good.
No.
Auburn deserves better than that. They've played better than that. They're a better program better than that, and they need to treat themselves like that.
A game they lost, by the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be the only thing. I was talking to Brett about this. The only thing that I'm disappointed in is that none of them are really home and home. They're all we'll go play in Birmingham.
Well, no, Houston's home and home.
No, it's not. We're playing in Birmingham. We're playing
in Birmingham,
the Rockets Stadium.
You're right.
And which I mean that technically they're
none of them are. Well, I guess the ACC challenge next year will be in Auburn, but you don't know who to be.
No,
I bet you it's somebody. Well, it depends.
I mean, that one's fine. Yeah, Duke. I'm just talking about all these like Purdue's in Birmingham and Ohio State's in Atlanta. And
well, look,
I mean, I get it, and that's fine.
You need to do Atlanta.
But Brett made a great point that you got to learn to win away from Auburn Arena, and that's a good point.
And look, again, where do you play the NCAA games? Neutral sites.
Yeah. So.
And so I think it's good to go play in places that are bigger and that you're unfamiliar with. And again, you go play in Houston, you go play at the Rockets gym or whatever. Okay, but guess what? Houston's got a lot of talent. Go to Atlanta, play in the State Farm Arena. Guess what? Atlanta's got a lot of talent.
It's not like a Cathagematorium. I mean, the Rockets.
What is it called? What is it called?
It's some arena, I'm sure.
I know.
It's a nice
Rockets
place.
Arena. It's something
UCLA Rockets. The Rockets.
Well, I don't know the name of it. I knew State Farm Arena.
Yeah.
But
also register your first grader.
I just think it's fantastic for both of them to have such good schedules.
I agree. It's going to be fun. All right, need to win more than you lose. That's a good rule. All right, go ahead and take another break. We'll be back with more Sports Blitz Live right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
Alex City and west side of the lake. It's time to celebrate because the all-new Lake Martin Pizza is open with the area's best pizza, and it's just down Highway 63 South in our town. Lake Martin Pizza of Highway 63 has a huge outdoor seating area with enclosed heated comfort, a full bar with cold beer, wine, and full spirit selection with family ownership and fun for the whole family. Dine in or pick up. It's just a short drive to our town and is hands down the area's best pizza. Like us on Facebook to see upcoming live entertainment and watch sports on our 360 wraparound TVs. Rejoice! Lake Martin Pizza on Highway 63 is ready for you.
Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation is coming soon to the corner of 280 and 49 North in Daytonville. This new 10,000 square foot facility is conveniently located to serve the residents of the Lake Martin area and its many communities. A branch of Frederick Dean Funeral Home and Crematory in Opelika, Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation looks forward to serving your families and your communities, as we have since 1900 at Frederick Dean. 256-750-0381.
Planting season is here, and the Potting Shed Garden Center is happy to give you professional landscaping advice when it comes to planting your shrubs and trees. Auburn's best kept secret will have it all this fall. Mums, pansies, pumpkins, and much more. All in an array of colors and sizes, along with beautiful pots and containers, indoor plants, and a great selection of other gardening gifts. It's all at the Potting Shed Garden Shop, where natural elements reign supreme. Located on the corner of Moore's Mill and Society Hill Road in Auburn.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
Hi, this is Andrew McGreer at Dunning Roofing. At Dunning Roofing, we specialize in high-quality, premium roofs. We don't build roofs that just meet code requirements. We build quality roofs with premium materials that significantly exceed our competitors' warranties. We put money on your roof, not in our pockets. If you're looking for a top-quality roof, call Dunning Roofing today for your free quote at 256-307-7601 or visit us at DunningRoofingAL.com for more information.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you, probably closing it out on this segment. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us tonight. Again, thank you to our guests as well, Jordan Hill and Alex Jones. Great information as always. We'll continue our SEC preview next week. Hopefully, we will be talking about the Florida Gators, maybe the Arkansas Razorbacks, and a mystery guest. I don't know. We'll see. Ooh. You got to tune in to find out. All right, Luke, greatest alt-rock songs of the 90s. The fan vote has come in. This is their final four. Jeremy versus Let Her Cry and Under the Bridge versus Runaround.
I mean, I think
we had two of those. I know.
Four. I think it's Let Her Cry and Runaround for the championship. That's me. And I just saw Hootie and the Blowfish in concert. You know?
I actually, people are talking about this around town. I ran into a guy at a restaurant. I
Can't stop LA City people from talking about 90s alt-rock.
I said, who wins the championship? He said, it's Jeremy. Pearl Jam. Absolutely. He said, my wife, now she says it's Hootie.
Yeah, I think, look, Hootie is more 90s alt-rock to me, but bordering on pop. But when you think Pearl Jam, I think so much grunge and stuff, like it sort of takes a little bit of the edge.
Honestly, I think of Pearl Jam as more alt rock than I do Hootie. I don't think of it. It's such a broad term.
It is.
But I classify that grunge, all of that into
That's fair. And I probably should have. Yeah. And Hootie's more popish. Okay.
It is.
But I think.
Well, I don't want to. I don't want to sully the name of Hootie and say it's popish.
Well, let's say this.
I think it's good 90s rock.
Okay, here's the thing. I think if most people, if you somebody comes to you and says, I've got 2 tickets, 2 to Pearl Jam, 2 to Hootie and the Blowfish.
Right.
I think your pride would make you say, I'm going to Pearl Jam. I think in your soul, you want to go see Hootie. Let me tell you, I just went to Hootie. He was really good. He hadn't aged a day. He's an Elliott City Time Warp.
Yeah.
He hadn't aged a day. They played Wagon Wheel, which isn't even their song, which I dug. They played some other songs I didn't even know they sang, like Miss California. I never even heard it. I loved it. I thought it was great.
All right.
But they played Time, and everybody goes nuts over Time, and everybody goes nuts over
Only Want to Be With You.
Only Want to Be With You.
Hold My Hand.
Hold My Hand. They had some good ones, man. What's that? Old Man in the something? Old Man in
the Sea.
It's not the sea, is it? Old Man in the something.
I think that's Hemingway.
Yeah, I know. Hemingway and the Blowfish is a lesser known band. More of a Key West thing. But
Motherless Child. I don't. That was just kind of a B-side, kind of a sneak. They snuck that one in on, I think, Cracked Review. It wasn't really listed in there, but it's really cool.
I think I'm going. I'm going to Hootie and the Blowfish. Now that I'm past 50, I'm not worried about.
I would vote in that one. I would vote for. I think that's mine too.
Hootie.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So then you get Run Around and Under the Bridge. To me, it's clearly Run Around. It's so much. It's so uplifting and
it is good, nice. But I
know he is. She is giving
John
him the
Hopper still alive?
The
harmonica
dude.
Yeah, he was portly.
There's a dead or alive question for you right there.
That is an excellent.
You're combining 2 things.
Yeah, how about that? We don't want to blow the viewers' minds here.
Richard Simmons is dead. I don't know if that. Does that mean?
I don't think he ever played the harmonica. But
he played the harmonica.
Stop. Okay. On that note, let's close things
pole
out.
vaulting.
All right. Rank them. We'll close things out. Happy birthday yesterday, Maureen McCormick.
Okay.
Marsha Brady.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to piece it there.
Who didn't love Marsha Brady? Favorite?
Majan didn't love Marsha
No,
Brady.
she did not. That's true. Favorite Brady Bunch episode? Favorite Brady Bunch episode? Here are some of the classic episodes. The subject was noses.
Yeah.
Marsha gets hit in the face after she gets asked out by the coolest guy in school.
Wasn't Joe Namath in that episode?
He was not in that episode, but he was in an episode, yes. So was Davy Jones, and he is groovy.
Yeah.
Hawaii Bound, when they ran into
the curse and the tarantula and
the Vincent Price, and a big metal leaf fell off the wall and almost killed Greg.
Yeah.
Do Re Mi.
Remember that one?
When Peter's voice began to change. You got to.
They really tackled the hard subjects.
You got to rearrange.
It's so much. Now it's my crack-addled 6-year-old is a pimp, and you're trying to figure out is this a comedy and back then it was Peter's voice is changing just a little bit
after they're doing a singing group. Johnny Bravo.
I don't remember that one.
You remember when Greg turned into Johnny Bravo? Johnny Bravo, he was going to be a music star. This is like the later episodes where he was.
That had to be because is that the impetus for the Johnny Bravo cartoon?
No, I don't think so. But
that can't be coincidence.
It's surely not. But I don't know. That's a completely different kind of character. But anyway, and the Ghost Town when they went on.
I do remember the Ghost
trip to the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
And do you remember which star made a cameo there in the Ghost Town?
I used to watch all these on TBS back in the day, but I don't remember.
Thurston Howell III.
Oh, that's right. I do remember.
He was like a prospector or something.
Didn't Mike Brady he got arrested or something? He was a bad.
I think
dude,
it's with Richard Simmons somewhere.
I think he was a sketchy dude in real life. I think.
Oh, really?
I mean, Look, I'm not trying to.
I think now he's dead.
Oh, he's pretty dead.
Yeah.
I mean, I suspect
Carol
most of them
Brady's
are
dead. Yeah.
Got to be.
Yeah.
Carol Brady
She
was
just died like 2 or 3 years ago.
No, it had to be before that.
Well, I'm losing track of time.
Well,
so
I mean,
that may be right.
How many of the kids do you think are? Alice is dead.
Oh, Alice is. Yeah, she's dead.
They might have been Weekend and Bernians.
I know Greg and Peter are still alive, and Marsha's obviously still alive. I think Jan's still alive. I don't know about the other two.
Yeah, Bobby and
Cindy. Yeah.
That'd be ironic if both of them were dead.
That's true. That's true.
I really think Mike Brady was a sketchy dude. I think there was he got, like, I'm probably about to get this TV station sued, but I think he was.
Just because he grew cocaine in his backyard, that's not a. All right.
He was an architect.
Adam, he was an architect. Yeah. I always wanted to pretend to be an
I
architect.
always wanted to pretend I was an architect.
All right, Adam Yacht, one of the Beastie Boys, born yesterday, 1964, tragically died in 2012. Fight for your right.
It's good.
To party. Sabotage.
Yeah, it's good.
No Sleep Till Brooklyn.
I don't like that one as much as everybody else.
Really? I love that one, yeah. Intergalactic.
That's great.
That's a little bit, that's out there. And Get It Together. You familiar with that one?
Not really.
Okay. They only really had 4 that most people recognize.
I watched some like
about check it out.
I listened to some old school rap dudes on something the other day. Maybe I was in a YouTube rabbit hole or whatever, and they were talking about, all right, who the best rappers of all time were, and some of them said Eminem, and some of them said
Grandmaster Flash.
And someone was like, look, I think you got to go back. He said, because they changed, you got to go back to Run DMC. You got to go back to Dougie Fresh. You got to go back to Kool Moe Dee. And you got to go back to the Beastie Boys. And they're like, what?
LL. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, they were.
Because they were, I mean, like at first, when you just see them on the album cover, you're like, oh, this is going to suck.
Yeah.
And then they get in, like, the music's great.
It is. It really is cool. All right, that's going to wrap it up for us. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us tonight. Join us next Tuesday, same bat time, same bat channel. He is Luke Robinson. I'm Andy Graham. So long for now, everybody. Roll the credits.
The new owners of Stillwater's Country Club want to welcome you to play the area's premier course at Stillwater's with our new rate. Now, play for only $35 per 18 during the week and only $40 for the weekend. Stillwater's Golf is ready to give you the area's best golf experience, and many upgrades are coming, including a lighted range and course expansion. Meet the new staff and enjoy $35 per 18 Monday through Friday and $40 on the weekends. All at Stillwater's Country Club in Dadeville.
At Team One Hyundai, it's the Summer Savings Sales Event. All new Hyundais will be sold at employee pricing, plus an unheard of $1,000 bonus for your trade-in. See our huge selection of new and pre-owned inventory at team1hyundai.com. Don't miss the summer savings with employee pricing, plus a $1,000 bonus for your trade. Team One Hyundai of Gadsden, where the experience exceeds your expectations.
At CNT Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
Thunderbolt Lightfoot at Oscar's Cafe on Highway 49 South in Dadeville, Alabama is looking to see you today. Now let me tell you, they got great food. They've always had great food all these years. Now they still got that atmosphere. They still got that service. They still cater. Let me stop right there. 15 to 415 they can handle. So give them a call today at Oscar's Highway 49 South in Dadeville. 256-825-4827.
Inspired by the bold bison, Southern Union students blaze new trails every single day. They press forward knowing their SU education will lead them to success. Affordable, accessible, and locally unparalleled. Whether you're transitioning to a university or launching straight into a lucrative career, a degree from SU-SCC can help you blaze your path. 3 locations, dedicated faculty and staff, endless possibilities. It's all waiting for you at Southern Union. It's time to venture forward. Register today.
Announcing Camping World's Inflation Buster camping program. You can now get into a new RV starting at just $98 a month. We won't let the economy steal your camping season. Take advantage of this very limited time offer and lock in your low monthly payment today.
Inspired by the bold bite.
76% of nurses say they went into the profession because they wanted to help patients. No matter the reason you decided to become a nurse, you have all the tools needed to advance your degree at Jacksonville State University. Our Master's in Nursing program is now offered fully online and can be completed in less than 2 years. You can customize a flexible course schedule so you can receive your advanced education degree all while working on the front line. JSU Nursing, your opportunity to advance your career and serve your community.
At Russell Medical, we're proud of our exceptional nurses, like Nurse Brandy Worthy. Brandy represents the selfless, compassionate clinical leader patients expect and coworkers admire. Brandy was recently honored with the Nightingale Award for Nursing Excellence for her high standards, sound judgment, and caring manner. Her passion for her profession inspires us all.
Being a nurse is not just what you do, it's who you are. I'm proud to be a part of the nursing team at Russell Medical. We are the link between all hospital services, providing you with exceptional, personalized care.
If you're tired of the same old and you're hungry for something really good, then it's time to go to JR's Sports Bar and Grill. JR's has the best fingers and wings around, and their menu is loaded with appetizers, burgers, salads, and so much more. Follow JR's on their Facebook to keep up with their live music events and drink specials. And if after a long day you just want to stay in, remember JR's delivers. Call in your order at 256-329-2328. JR Sports Bar and Grill, 145 Alabama Street in Alexander City.
Satterfield Outdoor Living is Lake Martin's trusted friend for your outdoor land and leisure needs. We're the region's authorized Skag mower dealer for residential and commercial lawns and offer all the small engine accessories you need with top lines of Steel, Echo, Shindawa, Husqvarna, and Metabo products that can tame any landscape. Satterfield is also your grill headquarters with Big Green Egg Grill, and our pros service everything in-house and back up all sales. Get the Satterfield Outdoor difference on Highway 280 right across from Tallapoosa Ford.
Main Street Family Urgent Care.
Main Street Family Care offers a wide array of services that allows them to treat many conditions, and they also offer primary care. In addition to these services, they also offer DOT physical exams, lab testing, sports physicals, and vaccines. They accept most major insurance plans, including Medicaid. Main Street Family Care, open 7 days a week.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Heal better, feel better fast.
Sign Source is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
If you listen carefully, you'll hear the roads of Alabama calling. And Sarah Honda has your answer. Serving you for over 40 years with one of the largest Honda and pre-owned inventories in the state, and the Sarah Promise. Our best deal when you buy or trade, a 72-hour exchange policy, a no-hassle trade-in promise. Written offers are good for 7 days. And our best service promise. Our factory-certified technicians help keep your vehicle running smoothly. That's why Alabama can be yours to discover in a new vehicle from Sarah Honda in Sylacauga.
Farmers and Merchants Bank of Dadeville is building a foundation of strength and trust in the entire Lake Martin community. With our modern branch in Dadeville and caring, attentive staff, we've established Farmers and Merchants Bank as a reliable friend to your banking needs. Whether it's just a savings or checking account or any commercial, auto, or real estate loan, Farmers has local decision-making to build a relationship with you and your needs. Farmers and Merchants Community Bank. Strength, service, community.
With summer here, the kids out of school, and fun at the lake, illness or injury can strike at any time. Whether you're on vacation or just don't have time to go see your primary doctor, visit your friends and professionals at Ivy Creek Urgent Care, located at Highway 49 South, next to Stillwater's main entrance. With a rotation of 4 professional doctors and 3 nurse practitioners, they honor all walk-ins, get you in, properly treated, and out swift so you can be back to the summer fun fast. When you need urgent, see Ivy Creek Urgent Care, Dadeville. No appointment needed.
Lee Apparel is your go-to vendor for screen printed and embroidered apparel and promotional products. We print and embroider free custom-made graphics or outsourced designs on everything from t-shirts, headwear, corporate wear, team sportswear, high-end safety apparel, and promotional products. At Lee Apparel, you can always expect quick turnaround time, competitive pricing, friendly customer service, and free in-hands delivery on all orders. Visit us at leeapparel.com to get started.
Lake Martin Tractor and Outdoor wants you to know the only thing hotter than the summer on the lake is the hot incentives with all Mahindra tractors and farm implements and tough Spartan mowers. Right now, get the year's hottest deals on Mahindra with financing up to 84 months or 0%. Speaking of zero, see the huge selection of zero-turn Spartan mowers with 0% interest, financing up to 60 months. See the Lake's authorized Mahindra and Spartan dealer, Lake Martin Tractor and Outdoor, for deals that sizzle all season long.